Well, this is not a good situation. This is probably like the worst case scenario.
We're investigating the water pipe because we have really low pressure. We never had a really good piping system. The pipes are quite blocked by sand and debris. That's also compounded by the fact that there's not a lot of water in the fountain. Don't have any, like a lot of flow or initial pressure. We're checking if there's any like broken pipes. At this moment it's kind of paranoia really because
Yeah.
we're not getting any water into our deposit, and it's just a combination of those three things, and I don't think we can fix any of them at the moment.
So there was a leak here, as you can see, by the wet ground, but I fixed that the other day. There's not enough water to leak.
Look here, it's barely empty.
Nothing. Yeah, there was a leak here as well, which I also fixed. It's like, while there was lots of water, all the little leaks didn't really matter. We could deal with them. Like losing a little drop in like 5 different places wasn't an issue. But now we've only got like 10 drops in total. So every one of the 5 drops that we lose does actually matter. Are we asleep yet back here? I think so. Seeing a lot of trees starting to die as well, like this lentisco tree. Like I've seen so many of these that are not looking super healthy.
Like there's gonna be a limit pressure that it's not gonna be able to go over that.
Even if someone just comes and takes a couple of bottles, like the amount of time it takes for then like the trough to refill and the pressure to sort of reach enough to push down the pipe, and then someone else will come, and it's like
the night is not enough. Like before we would get like water at night, all night.
Yeah.
But now it's not even reaching that.
Yeah. Well, anyway, we've come to now look at something else very exciting. They put a new bridge to cross the Barranco. Looks really nice.
It works.
They've cleared all of this as well. This used to be impossible to walk through.
Well, this must be.
This is
it's gonna be very echoey.
This is very
It might be
echoey.
terrible, but
This is nice.
this is the main route, like to.
Yeah.
So
I never used to be able to come here because it was overgrown.
these are new. Yeah, we should put this in our land.
These bushes are dying as well. Loads of these.
Yeah, and these are like the ones that are really hardy to not having water.
These are like the ones that make the little yellow flowers. They're like gorse, I think, in English. Okay, that's a bit steep. You never noticed that little, like, terraces are nice.
We're admiring this terrace wall, how well built it is. Look at those stones. I don't think you can see them, but they're pretty cool. These bushes are mega dry. Look at this. This is the lowest it's ever been. Like this trough here, it's usually like full and it just refills quite fast. And now it's taking it, I don't know, we just been walking for 10-15 minutes and it still hasn't refilled. And the person that just came, that we just met, that was filling the water, must have filled like what, 4 or 5 bottles, like not a crazy amount, but
By the time it refills again, someone else will be here. And
exactly.
So no wonder it's not reaching us.
Yeah. It's like if every hour someone comes and fills a couple of bottles, like we don't see any water, and we don't think.
Which is fine. Like,
Yeah,
they have the right to do
Yeah,
that.
it's not our water.
It's not our water. It's just
Yeah. We're not complaining of people filling their bottles. Everyone has the right. But as people who are connected at the end of the fountain, the extra water that we were getting before was a lot and was more than enough for us. And now it's not. And now it's nothing. Yeah, it's so low. Look at it. Like it's not even in the pipe at the moment. Like the level there, well, it's like a third of the pipe. but obviously it's not enough pressure to go
And it's all backflowed from there as well, so it's got to like rise.
full. But yeah, at the moment we're not getting any because nothing's going in there. Dry weather. Are we crossing?
Yeah.
Why?
Why not? It's cooler that side.
Oh, I thought we were doing the pipe.
Yeah, so we got distracted on a walk. But what we actually came for was to come and grab some of our 40mm polyethylene piping, which we've got lying around somewhere around here, and see if we've got enough to implement our emergency water project, which we're going to try and do in the next few days. Alright, there's a piece. Give it a pull, see if
This way.
yeah, see if you can find the end.
And the problem is that it's not super flexible.
My mum turned up at just the right time to help Mauro untangle and pull this huge length of pipe up from the terrace onto the track. Whoa, look at you go!
You should come record the noise it makes through here.
I can't hear it. Eventually we got the pipe up to the top of the hill where we have 3 IBCs. Our plan is to add 9 more IBCs up here so we can get an emergency 10,000 litre water delivery and have it stored up here and have it fed down by gravity to the house and the garden. So there's an easy route down the hill, or there's a direct route. The direct route needs a lot of cutting back of bushes and undergrowth and stuff like that though, so kind of hard to see where we're going. But yeah, basically the most direct route down to the house would be through all of this. Oh my god, there's the pipe, I can see it already. Where is it? Can't focus on it, but I can see it.
I stopped and turned, trying to find out. There might be something I forgot, but all I know is that I miss you a lot. A lot. 7 days.
In an ideal world, we would be digging a trench for this pipe and burying it to stop it from freezing, and probably more importantly to keep the pipe from getting really hot in the sun in the summer. The water in the pipe does get very, very hot when it's like lying directly in the sun. And every metre of this 40mm pipe has over a litre of water in it, so if we have to open the tap and let the scalding hot water out before we can even use the water that's coming down here, it's going to be really inefficient with water and we're going to waste a lot. So we really need to keep the pipe out of the sun, but a lot of the ground is just rock, so we're not going to be able to bury it. But what we do have is a lot of stones. So my thinking is that we can maybe just pile stones all over the pipe and it won't keep it from freezing, but the most important thing is to keep the sun off it. Anyway, I'm going to finish putting it in position first, and then we'll see how much pipe there is and whether covering it with rocks is feasible or not.
7 days of eternity, 7 days in another country. Every cell screams, stay right here, and my legs, they freeze us in fear. We got time after this, but I'll need you as my brightest light. Even in the darkest night, you shine so bright.
I continued piling rocks on top of the pipe. It was taking quite a long time, so in a few flatter places I improvised with some old roof tiles instead.
Can someone make this disappear? I'm having a crisis down here. And if I can't see you, I lose my mind. I like to be with you all my time. And I miss you so much, the pain won't stop.
So this is what we're doing for now to shade the pipe that we just can't bury at all. We're either using rocks or we're using some tiles just to come across here. And we've got to go all the way down along here. And then we've got this pile of rubbish. This is all broken apart furniture, which is starting to completely crumble. We've got to get rid of that because the pipe needs to go back a bit. And we don't want to leave the pipe like on top of this pile of rubbish. That would just be very annoying for the future. And then just about here, this is the end of our property at the moment, this breeze block wall. And we want to put a T in this section of pipe here that comes down from the top of the hill. And then we will be able to tee off into all of our irrigation piping, which is all over there in the garden. And then this way we will tee off into our house water, which is in that IBC just over there. So we'll be able to open some sort of valve around here or maybe at the other end of the pipe and fill up our house IBC. There it is. So those two jobs, clearing this pile of rubbish and just putting that T in and branching off in these two directions, is the final thing that we need to do with the pipe. I probably won't do that in this video because we're going to carry on focusing on getting all the IBCs connected first, but that is all that's left to do down here near the garden and near the house. Putting the T in really isn't going to take very long. What's going to take longer is getting rid of this big pile of rubbish, so that'll probably be something we do in bits and pieces over the next many weeks. But yeah, down this end we're really close to getting everything done and joined up and connected, so that's good. Should we move this one?
Yeah.
So we need to figure out how we're going to stack these and where we're going to position them so that I can work out how we're going to join them together.
One possible layout. 3 of them here, 3 of them here. The taps are facing that way. Come around them, and then you go up and undo the same way.
They're all in series.
Yeah.
This one is like down, 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 overflows to the bottom layer, comes up the pipe that comes around the side.
I don't see a problem with that.
I hope these lids are secure because they've got to like stop it from overflowing here.
Yeah, because the pressure. Yeah.
Now we have to try and get this one on top of here to see how easy it is.
No with the camera on top
No
of
with the
it.
camera on top. I set up a time lapse thinking this was going to take us ages, but actually it was super easy. So then, feeling confident that we could stack them all up in no time, we went to try and set down on paper how we were going to plumb all the containers together. What I didn't realise initially is that when stacking the IBCs, the ones on the bottom layer were going to need a mechanism to allow air out as they fill, otherwise you end up with an airlock and they will only partially fill. It's getting really complicated. So if we don't stack them.
Yeah, if we don't stack them, all of them are gonna have like the bottom with water.
Yeah.
You just, like, that's why you have 12,000 and not 10. You just ask them to come with 10 and you put it on top.
I don't even know if we have the surface area. I really want to stack that. Later that afternoon, our additional 9 IBCs arrived, which we purchased from a local company that recycles and restores old IBCs. So we got them at a really good price, nicely cleaned and ready to use. Well, here they are, all 12. Melrose's got some rocks for our never-ending rock raised bed project. I'm just going to grab a lid because I need to experiment with how we're going to do the vent on the lid. Had a bit of an issue with the lids when we arrived because they were going to give us lids that had like a vent built into them, but I'm 100%, 99% sure it wasn't the kind of vent that we need to install, but in the moment we weren't exactly sure, so we ended up changing all the lids for these solid ones, and we will put the vent in that we need. I'm like 99% sure those lids weren't right. Mauro is slightly less convinced, but
No, I was just like, given the choice of having vent caps and normal caps, I imagine that the vent caps are more expensive. So if we're gonna get them for free, we might as well get the more expensive ones, and then in the off chance that they would suit our purpose, it made sense to get them. But I'm also not 100% sure that they would work.
I know what you mean. The thing is, I just spent the morning researching IBC lids, so I was slightly more convinced of my rightness than Mauro, and I ended up winning on that one. So these are the lids we've got. We'll see what we can do with them. So I've just bought all of the fittings and connectors that I thought we needed for connecting up these deposits, but I've actually forgotten one crucial piece, which was we needed 10 more of these T-pieces. So I can't actually do much until I get them. It's Friday afternoon now, all the shops are closing, so we won't be able to do that until Monday now. So I bought a few bits and pieces just to see how the vent on these IBCs might work. The problem I have is that the pieces that I could find to put like the vent in, like it's quite tall, so I'm not even sure we're going to have room for this piece in between the two layers, if you know what I mean. So that's kind of what I wanted to just come and check, see how much space we've actually got in between these two stacked IBCs. Oh, we might be alright actually. Oh yeah, it's tight. So I was originally thinking to take the lids down to the house and put the vents in the lids. That way if we mess it up, we've just ruined a lid, not an entire IBC tank, and we can work more comfortably down by the house. But the lid sticks up too far. We just won't be able to do that because then there won't be space for this sort of 2 inches or so that needs to stick up, plus the pipe. So I don't know, here comes Mauro. Let's see what he thinks.
So we're going back and forth between the idea of stacking them or having them all in the same level. I guess the advantage of having them stacked is that obviously we use less surface, which is nice. It feels like a better use of space. But also is that when we're low on water, like there's more water in each of the bottom 6 containers. But we're starting to realize that the venting solution that we have to come up with so that the bottom containers are vented so that when they're filling the air can go out, and also when they're emptying the air can go in, that the complication of doing that is probably not worth it for now. I guess in the future, if we figure out how to do it, we could stack even more. But in reality, like the 12 are here and they occupy like less space than we thought they would. So we're really thinking that we should have them flat and just simplify this and just have it working.
Should we just get them into position then, like where we want them, so we can do all the plumbing between them? Nice, fresh IBCs. Alright, now the Tetris begins. Have we got a plan? Our plan was, Mauro began removing scrub and levelling the ground where we needed to put the IBCs, whilst I began testing how we were going to plumb them all together. So whilst Mauro has been clearing some of the undergrowth where we're going to put these IBCs, I've been replacing all of the caps with these adapters so that we can join them all together. It's just this adapter tap, and then I've got this 1 inch into 3/4 inch or 25mm reducers, and then I've got one of these 25mm adapters which is going on here. Then this is going to grip onto our polyethylene piping, 25mm, and that's what's going to join all of the IBCs together.
Start with the race? That's my intention.
Just uncovered a scorpion. Do you want to see?
What?
Can they jump?
Where?
There. I was going to use that block to put the camera on.
Whoa, that's huge!
I know! I'm going to walk away. Don't touch it, Una. Alright, you ready for the biggest Tetris job of your life?
Yeah. This is gonna sound pretentious, but people who know. It's more of a Sokoban job than a Tetris job.
Okay.
People who know and will appreciate it.
It's not actually raining. I don't know why you're wearing a raincoat.
Just in case.
If it started pouring with rain now while we're doing this, that would just be the most annoying thing ever. No, it'd be good, but if we suddenly got loads of rain after we've just set up this thing, we won't. That's not going to happen. Yeah, we got a bit distracted yesterday. We didn't get very far with the IBC Tetris, so I'm going to go finish it off today. Well, there we go, they're all in position. We are so lucky that we've got this flat ground up here. Like, that was just, that's just been a lifesaver. And we've got...
And the height difference.
Yeah, that's what I
So
mean.
handy.
And we've actually got a lot more flat ground as well that we could have used. So...
Now we could double this horizontally
Yeah.
without having to stack, really.
Yeah. So yeah, we did decide for simplicity not to stack the IBCs for the time being. And now that we knew the positioning and how we were going to connect them all together, I could go and get the remaining plumbing pieces that we needed. Well, today it actually is raining, but not that much, so it's not going to make a difference. We've got all the pieces that I picked up earlier, and we're going to see if we can just finish all the plumbing. I'm going to answer now a couple of questions that I know we're going to get. Firstly, you're going to be questioning the colour of these IBCs, whether they're not going to heat the water up because they're black. They won't. I've used a black IBC before and I thought it would, but it doesn't. I've tested the temperature of the water on a really hot sunny day when the IBC was in full sun, and it wasn't hot, it was just cool, so that's going to be fine. The reason we got them black obviously is to stop the light coming in. We could have covered them with something, but it was €10 more to buy these black ones, and it saves us the work of having to cover them, and it's probably cheaper than buying the right amount of shade material or covers or whatever it is that we were going to cover them with anyway. So yeah, we bought black ones, just sheltering under this tree, waiting for Melrose to come back with a few extra things that I forgot. So another question I expect you might ask is, why aren't we just using the deposits that we've already got, like the built brick and mortar ones? If we're going to buy water, why don't we just put water somewhere where we've already got storage for it? Well, all of our deposits are leaky. We weren't sure how leaky because we weren't really testing how much was coming in, but this episode of not really having any water coming in has shown us that they are very leaky, and it's a good opportunity at this point, I think, to just let them empty and fix them properly. Also, by putting these tanks up here and having this solution in place, it means that we've got water in a high point of the land, which we always wanted to do anyway. It means that the water arriving down at the house and in the garden will have quite a bit of pressure. I reckon we're about 10 to 12 meters elevated here from the garden. That's more than enough pressure to run drip irrigation, which we've never been able to do, at least without a pump, and it should mean that we can get rid of the pump that we use in the house as well, which draws off the battery and the solar, and it's just an added piece of equipment that if we can get rid of it, then everything's simpler. So having water up here on the hill was always the plan, and these deposits aren't going to leak, which is also good, because if we're purchasing water, we don't want to lose thousands of litres every week into the ground, which is what is happening at the moment. Alright, here's Melrose, let's do this. You say?
And he was saying that some with
Wow. Can you imagine? How many more of these do you need?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4.
Your Leatherman is really good.
Thank you
Still
for getting it.
not the tool for this job, but
I'll do this part. You keep cutting.
you do the tightening?
Yeah.
Those two are ready for tightening.
Yeah.
Oops, dropped the washer. I'll just get this one on and then you can do this one as well.
That's not a washer.
What?
It's not a washer.
It's not a washer, what is it then?
An O-ring.
An O-ring.
It's called an O-ring. It's a joint.
It's the same job, doesn't
It
it?
doesn't do the same job. No.
Okay. So you ready for tightening now? Oh, why are you here? You're so wet. Oh, you're so wet. Is this like bending out? I was gonna say we're getting into the swing of things now. We're on 1, 2, 3. We're on number 5. I think I've just messed up. This bit I cut is too short. I don't know why it's like bending out like this.
Dangerous.
What is this? Okay, there we go. I am doing the cutting, and Melrose then comes along and tightens everything, because he's the strong, sensible one with gloves. Well, he's not wearing them right now, but he was.
It's not like I need my hands healthy for my job.
This isn't a good example to film because the pipe's a bit like bent, so I'm putting a lot more effort into this than usual. Come and tighten this now so that the pipe like doesn't ping out again.
Yep.
Little by little, we got into a rhythm, and one by one, the IBCs all got connected. First corner going in.
Could be shorter, but it's okay.
That's the front row all joined up. Now we've just got to come around here and do the back row. We're done! Look at that. I'm so proud of us.
Yeah, we're on the coffee. Let's go have a coffee.
And look, this is the pipe that we've got left over.
Done a bit left.
Yeah, for once in my life I actually ordered pretty much the right amount of materials.
You can join that and make a hula hoop. No.
Not great. Oh, it's at a weird angle. That's not great. So we're just doing the final step, which is connecting up the IBCs with the 40mm pipe that goes down the hill. We were just missing like one connector, so we've got that now.
I think we should pull it from down there.
Yeah, it's a bit
Because
bent.
Nice.
Is that better?
Bit more. You can a bit more. That's great.
So everything is connected. I think we're going to leave this video here, and we're going to have a really good cliffhanger because you're going to have to come back next week when we fill these IBCs and see if everything is connected properly or whether we have massive leaks anywhere. I'm also really excited to see what the pressure is like at the bottom of the hill. Mauro reckons it's going to be really disappointing, but I think it's going to be...
I think it's going to be good.
I think it's going to be amazing. I think it's going to be... I don't think we're going to be able to cope with the pressure. I think we're going to have the best shower of our lives. And that looks like it could be a bit tighter.
Come on.
More? A bit more? You can do it. I know there is a tool for this, for tightening these polyethylene pipes.
Here's the tool. Has 2 thumbs.
There is a tool that complains less, but I haven't been able to find it in any shops. And it's probably really expensive. Whereas this guy, it's free.
Cheap.
Cheap
Just
labour.
make me a coffee and I'm happy.